What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Sevilla in La Liga. We are playing on a Friday. How mad is that? But the games are coming thick and fast. Of course, we only just played on Tuesday, 2 days of rest, and bang, we're right back into it in a very, very important match, not only for Barcelona's morale and confidence, but also massively in the La Liga table as well. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 9 p.m. local time, so your regular kickoff time in La Liga, just not your regular day for La Liga action. And this match will be taking place at the beautiful Estadio Luis Campos Stadium in Montjuic, of course the home of Barcelona this season. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch, it will be Miguel Angel Arias, who of course was the referee for the Osasuna match where we just won 2-1. And on the VAR, it will be Pizarro Gomez. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona are currently sat in 3rd place in La Liga on 17 points. After playing 7 matches, we do have 5 wins and 2 draws. Of course, in the last match preview, we were sat in 1st place by 1 goal difference, and now we've dropped down to 3rd. Real Madrid are in 2nd place on 18 points. After playing 7 matches, they have 6 wins and 1 loss. But top of the La Liga table, ladies and gentlemen, is in fact Girona on 19 points. After playing 7 matches, they have 6 wins and 1 draw. Credit to Girona, they've had an unbelievable season so far. Again, their opponents have been quite low tier. I think their only tough game was, I think, Real Sociedad away, which they won, and of course Villarreal away, which they just won I think yesterday, so credit to them, of course. Now Athletic Club are in 4th place on 14 points. Athletic Madrid on 10 points. They have 1 game in hand, so you could say they're on 13 points, but again, they're still fairly close second. That's only because Athletic Club drew against Getafe yesterday. If they won, they would have been on 16 points, just 1 point behind Barcelona. So again, the league table is very, very tight. Now here is where Barcelona do have a bit of an advantage. Of course, Girona and Real Madrid play on Saturday. We play tomorrow, so we do play a day before. They'll see our result going into their match. But who do Girona, Real Madrid, and Athletic Club play this weekend? Huge matches. Firstly, it will be Girona versus Real Madrid, 1st versus 2nd on Saturday afternoon. It will be in Catalan at the home of Girona, and also it is the Basque derby. Real Sociedad will be hosting Athletic Club at the Anoeta. That is probably, you could say, the 3rd biggest derby in La Liga after the Clásico and after the Madrid derby. It is absolutely historic and monumental derby. So 2 huge games for the 2nd, or 1st, 3rd, and 4th team, and Barcelona can walk out of this La Liga weekend top 100%. In that 1st game, we just have to hope for a draw. Both teams drop points. Happy days. If we win our game, let's hope Athletic Club either lose or draw as well, and we can end off this La Liga weekend top of the table. But again, it does depend on those other results. And if I were to be, picky, I would rather Girona win than Real Madrid. I think Girona will drop off later on in the season, as they normally do. We've seen Real Sociedad in this spot a few times last season as well. It tends to happen, so I'm not too worried about Girona being title contenders throughout the whole entire season. I think they can definitely be top 4 race, maybe European spot, but I think they will drop off slowly from that 1st place. But again, monumental matches this weekend that can play in the advantage of Barcelona. Again, we don't have an easy game per se, but we are at home. We do play on Friday. If we do win, it'll put massive pressure on Girona and Real Madrid, because we will be top of the table going into that match. Of course, Athletic Club have a difficult match as well in 4th place, that can close maybe the gap between them and Atletico Madrid. So huge weekend of La Liga action, where Barcelona, you could say, do have a minor advantage. Now if you take a look at our opponents in Sevilla and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 11th place in La Liga on 7 points. After playing 6 matches, they do have 2 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses. For the stature of Sevilla, this is not the best of starts in the world, but for their recent form and their recent expectation, it's been quite the expected average start from them. But again, 3 losses in the first 6 games for Sevilla's stature on record is very, very poor. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Sevilla. I would say outside the top three in Madrid and Real Madrid, they have one of the better squads in La Liga. Very historic team as well. A team that we've had some absolutely brilliant clashes through over the past few years. The last time we did face them was at home at the Camp Nou, where Barcelona did end up winning 3-0. This is at a time where Sevilla were playing so poor. I think their manager at the time was Jorge Sampaoli as well. In this match, it took Barcelona about an hour to get on the score sheet. If you remember, it was a beautiful assist from Franck Kessié to Jordi Alba. Then, of course, Gavi and Rafinha scored, but those were just crosses and tapped into an open net, but still very well worked by Barcelona. On paper, it looks 3-0, battering, easy win, but we made hard work of it. It took us a while to break down the line. Again, in the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, the second game of the season, we also won that 3-0. So we're 6-0 on aggregate in the last two games against Sevilla, but I wouldn't take that to heart too much. They were on absolutely terrible form. We haven't faced them now with their new manager, the new style of play, and their new players as well, so that's something to look out for sure. Now, if you take a look at Sevilla's last 5 matches in all competition, in their last match, they did beat Almeria 5-1. They drew 0-0 with Osasuna. They drew 1-1 in the Champions League with Lens. They beat Las Palmas 1-0, and they lost to Girona 2-1. So sorry, when I talked about Girona earlier, well, Sociedad, I think it was Sevilla that was one of their bigger wins. Anyways, let's take a look at Sevilla's last 3 matches in all competition. Firstly is the Champions League draw, where they did end up Champions League game where they ended up drawing 1-1. Of course, Lens, on paper, you expect Sevilla to get the job done, especially at their home stadium, the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. You can see the lineup on the screen. It was a very even matchup. Lens, despite the fact they lost key players in the past summer, did put in a good performance. I don't know if you can say that that's because Sevilla didn't play well, or if just Lens played over their expectations. Very close game. Goals shared, I think they were both scored in the first half, and in the end, both teams walk away with 1 point. Next up is their 0-0 draw with Osasuna. You could say on paper they're two very evenly matched up teams over the past year on form and things like that. There are not many chances in this match, a few chances for each side. Of course, Osasuna, I think, had the better chances, especially being the home team, but it's a very evenly contested matchup, and both teams again walk away with 1 point. But Sevilla's final game in all competition, and also their biggest win of the season, was a 5-1 win to Almeria. Of course, Almeria, probably one of the worst teams in the league, but they did concede, so that tells you a little bit about their defense. Again, you can look at their lineup on the right hand side, something we can look forward to in our match as well. The story of this match is that they were clinical. They created 5 chances and scored all 5. You could say in the Osasuna match they created 2 chances, scored none. In the Lens match, I think they created 3 or 4 good chances. They only scored 1. This match they created 5 and they scored all 5. So they're clinical on the day. Again, I wouldn't say they were dominating. I don't think they were playing scintillating football. I don't think they had a good game. They just, scored the chances they didn't have, which again is the name of the game, and Sevilla walked away with their biggest win of the season so far ahead of the match against Barcelona. Now on the screen right now is a line that I believe that Sevilla will select in this match. We are expecting a 4-2-3-1 system that can adapt to a 4-3-3 as well. Of course, Dimitrovic in goal for them. They're their starting goalkeeper, although Nyland has been playing the past few matches, so he could start. Back four of Jesus Navas. Guidoji is playing at center back recently. He's of course regularly a pivot, but he's been playing at center back a lot. I think he'll play at center back alongside Sergio Ramos. I mean, bloody hell. Well, according to reports, Ramos is not quite fully match fit for this game, but I think he will end up starting. Pedrosa at left back, a double pivot of Rakitic and Fernando. We could see Sal come into that picture, and I think Juan Jordan will play in the number 10. It could be Rakitic in the 10 and Juan Jordan in the pivot. I think this will be the midfield 3. You could say we could see Sal come in as well. The front line, those where the question marks come in, we could see a multitude of players coming in. I think he will go with Suso on the right and Ocampos on the left. We could see Eric Lamela come in as well, and up front I think it will be Yusuf El Nasiri. So on paper, a very good team from Sevilla. It's just now down to them performing, and again, we're not very clinical as they were against Almeria. So overall, final thoughts on Sevilla. They're a very good team that's not getting the final end product and performances and results out so far this season. I think they're very well managed by the manager, Jose Luis Mendilibar, who again we have not faced since his Alaves days as a manager. He's a very good manager. He's come into a Sevilla team that's been absolutely on the floor and won them the Europa League, so you gotta give credit where it's due. He also brought them up, I think, to a top half finish last season, if I'm not mistaken. They were lingering around, so if you remember the relegation zone the whole entire year. I think they finished in the top half, if I'm not mistaken, maybe around 11 or 12, but I think they finished around 9th or 10th. But again, very good manager, and he's got a lot out of this Sevilla squad that he's currently working with. Just a player to look out for, of course. They got a lot of good players, again, up front in the city. I think Ocampos against Barcelona always plays well. Rakitic, former Barcelona player, he's, on fire for Sevilla and always plays well against us as well. Ramos playing Barcelona for the first time in God knows how long, so that could be some extra motivation from the Madrista of his career. Jesus Navas is a great player as well, so they do have fantastic players in their prime, veterans, up-and-coming players like the left back Pedroza. They have the experience as well. It's a very, very difficult game. Sevilla are a great team on paper. It's just now down to really Sevilla performing. It depends on what Sevilla we get. I think since Sevilla will not be playing a low block, they will go for it a bit. It will play in Barcelona's hands a lot. I think Sevilla do, maybe Mendilibar goes to a 5 at the back and sits back. I think it will be a very, very tough game. I think they do play their regular system and go for it and have a balanced game. I do think that will play in Barcelona's hands quite a bit. And again, for Barcelona, just down to them controlling the matchup and of course being clinical as well. Sevilla do lead goals. It's just now about Barcelona getting out of the defense, especially if Ramos doesn't play. Let's now take a look at the squad list. The squad list for this match has been released and confirmed, and it is as follows: Ter Stegen, Cancelo, Balde, Araujo, Martinez, Gavi, Varane, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Iñaki Peña, Felix, Christensen, Alonso, Romeo, Roberto, Gundogan, Koundé, Astralaga, Lamine Yamal, and Fermin Lopez. So no changes from the last squad list whatsoever. Pedri still injured. He is expected to come back after the international break, and of course Frenkie de Jong is injured as well. He is expected to return around the beginning of November. Time now to get into Xavi's press conference reaction. This press conference this morning, of course, he was asked a lot of questions from the media. This, you could say, was the Lamine Yamal press conference, where all the questions he's got were just about Lamine Yamal. But let's get and see what the Gaff had to say this morning in the presser. He came out saying that when facing a difficult team at home because they are champions of Europa League, Mendilibar is doing a great job. It's a complicated match and we need our supporters and the atmosphere that has been created at home. Then he was asked on Lamine Yamal's good form, again coming off the good performance against Mallorca, saying he's 16 years old and sometimes it shows. You don't play with the ball alone, you have to follow the side, and that's why I think you have to protect him in that, not in the other. He handles it very well. Naturally, the problem is the physicality load, and he is a happy boy. He was then asked about Gavi and Joao Felix, their positioning. Of course, Gavi can play on the left, and they have been interchanging quite a bit in matches. He said, look, the position has nothing to do with the Mallorca proposal. They look for the second ball. You have to be more alert to not fit it. You don't have to personalize it. He's then asked on Barcelona competing against the defensive 5, saying that we have to be more involved. It's true that it's difficult for us to play against defensive of 5. We create a lot. We're failing defensively, but in attack we've improved, and we have to improve defensively as well in order to win titles. Then asked on Lamine Yamal's game time management, saying there are good examples. Frank Rijkaard managed the minutes of Leo Messi at the beginning very well. He had injuries at the beginning. We have to be cautious with Lamine Yamal. It will help us, of course, in the long term. He was then asked on Girona being the La Liga leaders, saying that we have Pablo and Eric on loan, who've also scored a goal. It doesn't surprise me. They've been doing a great job. They've been having a great project for years now with a clear game model, with Miguel doing a spectacular job. He was then asked on the Porto match on Wednesday, saying that winning is always key for the next game. In Mallorca, we didn't have a bad game. Anything that involves winning will give us a good feeling for the next match. Then asked on our defensive transition, saying that we lose the duels, the second ball, sometimes we attack before time, we lack patience to mature the play, that causes unnecessary losses. We talked about it and we have to correct and adjust it. Then he was asked on rotation, saying that we analyzed the physicality, and in Europe many teams are suffering from injuries. We didn't draw in Mallorca because we rotated. They are super necessary. Again, I completely agree with that. Then asked on goals from distance. Very good question, saying it is a very good alternative to unbalance those defenses so that they are not calm. There are benefits in shot from distance. Rafinha is an extraordinary shooter. You have to dare. I completely agree. I think Barcelona should be shooting outside the box a lot more, especially against those low block teams as well. Then Xavi was asked on his sensations, saying that many times I do not agree with the analysis of many people. It is respectable. I analyze why we fit in, why we do not attack well, as we did the other day. Then as on the Madrid TV video, Madrid TV came out with a video talking about the referees and how they favor Barcelona. This is pressure on their match yesterday against Las Palmas. Xavi said that, look, I'm not going to give my opinion on Madrid TV with all the rest. We are Barcelona. What am I going to say? It makes, no difference whatsoever. Then following that, he was asked a more Madrid question on the Negreira case, saying that, my opinion, go to the newspaper library. I have never had a feeling that we've been benefited. Never. A week from now, there'll be another news story. A month from now, another. I have little time time to reflect on things that are not about football, not about these topics. Completely agree. I mean, this stuff about Negreira just comes out every time Barcelona are on top, so no point in addressing it. Then as for Fermin Lopez, and then Mallorca played on Tuesday, and after Frankie's injury, we needed him. Beyond his goal, he's very useful. He's a very dynamic player as well. Then Fermin Lopez wanted to play this week for Barca Athletic, and Xavi said, no, we need you for the first team, so he's got big trust in him. Then Xavi was asked probably the funniest question in a long time about facing Ramos, of course, on Friday, then Pepe on Sunday, of course, the Madrid center-back duo that he faced many times, saying that, look, there won't be a problem, I don't fear anything, so nice little banter there. Then asked Lamine on his mentality, saying that we treat him like someone who is 16 years old. We are very close to him. We send him well. He is training. He will face Ramos or Navas competition animals at the age of 36 years old. Then he's asked on tactics, saying that we work with video. We can't do much because it's recovery training and we have to compete. That's what the video is for. Then asked on balls to Lamine Yamal, saying that we have to look for him more, just like what we did with Dembele or Messi. We have to take advantage of it and more. Know what our teammates need. More one against one. More support. We have to take advantage and enhance Lamine Yamal's ability. And finally, Chavez asked on Rafinha, saying that this is the ideal reaction that a footballer should have, especially after the mistake in Getafe. He is cautious. He has trained very well, just as Ferran Torres showed us. He deserves to play because they make that difference. And that concludes Xavi's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Sevilla tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict this lineup. I think it actually will be very easy to predict, barring, of course, 1 or 2 changes. And I think that Xavi will go with this lineup on the screen right now. I think he'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 of Roberto, Koundé, Christensen, and Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of Romeo, Gavi, and Gundogan, and a front 3 of Rafinha, Lewandowski, and João Felix. I think we will see some players rested. Firstly, Cancelo, and I think Roberto will come in as a direct replacement. Of course, Roberto should be the captain. That is my mistake. I think the center-back partnership will be Koundé and Christensen, although there are reports saying that Araujo could be starting, but it doesn't make sense to start Araujo and keep Christian on the bench when Christian right now is on better form. That could be Xavi having one eye on the Porto match. Of course, midfield 3 is set in stone. I can't see any changes unless Xavi is feeling crazy and puts Gundogan in the pivot and then Fermin Lopez on the left, which I don't think he'll do. Front 3, he could rest João Felix. I don't think he will, though. I don't think Ferran Torres has done enough to show that he should start a game. He could start Lamine Yamal. I think that would be a decent shout, but I think he will give João Felix the minutes ahead of Sevilla and then probably sub him off a bit early. And of course, Lewandowski will return to the starting lineup, and Rafinha continues to start after his good game against Mallorca. And that's the lineup I think that Xavi Hernandez will select for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was a Barcelona coach, and I have made a few changes from Xavi's lineup selection. Firstly, I have brought in Araujo for Sergi Roberto, and I have brought in Lamine Yamal for João Felix. I think João Felix needs some rest now. He started the last few games. He's played the majority of those matches as well. And Lamine Yamal played so well in that cameo against Mallorca, and I think he should be rewarded. Midfield 3, again, stays the same. In the back line, again, I am hashtag no Roberto starting unless we desperately need it. I'd put Koundé at right back. I say, you know, Koundé, do solid in this game, play at right back. Once the game is dead around the hour mark, hopefully we'll bring in Roberto to rest you. Again, I think Araujo needs some minutes under his belt as well, but I also think that Christensen deserves a play. So that's why I think I'll start all 3, go back to the original back, you could say, and play them. And against Sevilla are a tough side. I think Roberto just scares the living shite out of me, and I really hope Xavi does this back line, having Koundé at right back. Again, you get the best of both worlds. No Roberto, Araujo and Christensen get to play, and so does Koundé. I think they all deserve to play right now, and with Cancelo now being rested, it's time, I think, to go back to that back line that we trusted a lot last season. To, you know, we only conceded 8 goals in 23 games, and now we got 8 goals in 7 games, so there is a difference somewhere. So I would go with that back line for sure, and that's the line that I would select for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you'd rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I think Barcelona will walk away with the victory, and I have gone Barcelona winning this match by 2-0. I think it will be a tight affair. I think Barcelona will get the first goal, so Sevilla will open up a bit, and then we'll get the second goal. I can't see us conceding unless Roberto starts. I think it depends a lot on the starting lineup, of course, and also Mendilibar's approach. Will he go more defensive? Will he go with a balanced play? I think that'll be very key. Will Ramos play or not? That's going to be a very important factor as well. But I'm hoping that Roberto doesn't start, and I'm hoping that Sevilla do play a balanced match. I think Barcelona will cut them open, get a few goals. I'll say 2-0. I really hope we do keep a clean sheet in this match. I think that's very, very imperative. We've been conceding a lot of goals in our recent matches, of course, 2 against Mallorca, 2 against Celta Vigo. So I think we should be keeping a clean sheet in this match. And if we do that, I believe in the front line to get a goal. I think Barcelona 100% will walk away with 3 points in this match. And I have gone Barcelona win this match by 2-0. But of course, leave me your score predictions down in the comments below. So that was a match preview for Barcelona versus Sevilla in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing on firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi would go with? What would you go with? You're the manager. Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me, watch the game with me. Follow for the match by my match reviews. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead for momentum, confidence, and also more importantly for the La Liga table. Take care and Forza Barca.